Yo.
What up? What up?
What is poppin'? What's going on, man?
Oh, a lot of shit, man.
A lot of shit.
A lot of shit. Some good sporting events, some good drinks.
It was a week, man.
Let's go. Welcome back, everybody, to the Carbon Footprint Podcast. He is Juan and I'm Sean. And every week we get together, have a few drinks, talk about things going on in the world, try to focus on things making an impact, whether they be good, bad, or otherwise. Welcome to episode 126.
Oof.
Hit him with the drink of the day.
Listen, this is the effing vodka pomegranate. Is that what we're calling it?
Sure.
Close enough. I'm 50-11 of them men, so I don't know. But this is delicious, man. I knew it. I tell you, every time you tell me you had the drink, I'm like, all right, let me get my insulin ready. And I know tomorrow is not going to be a productive day.
I think I'm going to take off tomorrow.
I need to try to do the same, bro. But yeah, man, this thing is delicious, man. We did a shot and a half of the effing vodka.
Yep.
You muddled. First, you took a quarter lime and
lemon.
Lemon. You took a
Lemon.
quarter lemon. Yep. You took out the peel. Mm-hmm. And you muddled just the actual lemon, the pulp or whatever. I don't know what that part's called.
Yeah, I don't know what it's called either. The inside of the lemon.
The inside of the lemon, damn it. You took out the skin and all that, muddled that.
With the mint.
Threw in a shot and a half of the effing vodka. Threw in a half a shot of orange liqueur.
Yep.
And then topped it off with some cran pomegranate juice.
Yep. Ocean spray. And yeah, this thing is delicious. And
man.
then garnish with the mint.
And do it in the mint, and then you got to do the mint, man, because that hit of the mint with the garnish and the
it's like that smell that you get before you should take the drink is amazing. So if you don't like mint, then skip this one. But if you like mint, this is good.
It's banging. And one more time, we'll do a lemon, a quarter wedge of lemon, de-peeled, just the skin, muddle that with mint, throw in a shot and a half of the Evan vodka, throw in half a shot of orange liqueur, fill it up with ice, top it off with some orange pomegranate ocean spray, and then a mint clapped for the garnish. And yeah, there you go, the effing vodka pomegranate. I think is what we was calling, or palm, or whatever we want to call it.
You just renamed it.
Yeah, we renamed it. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, mix those things together. Try it. I'll let me try. It's fire.
Yep, that's dope. That's dope. Yeah. All right, yo, my carbon footprint of the week is going out to the U.S. government National Ignition Facility.
Okay. That shit is long.
That shit is really long in Cali. So the U.S. government did something right. These guys successfully produced a nuclear fusion reaction, which resulted in a net energy gain. So, in layman's terms, essentially, they were able to create nuclear fusion that was self-sustaining. So in the past, they've always had sort of a net loss. So essentially, all of the energy that would go into creating this, it would always be less on the output. It would
dissipate eventually.
Right.
Yeah.
And then on this one, they actually got a net gain, and it was self-sustaining. So what does this mean for us folks out here? So that we use oil, we use coal energy, we use obviously we have solar, we have wind, and we have nuclear.
Yeah.
Right. Which nuclear is probably I don't want to say the closest thing. But it's the closest thing to be sort of self-sustaining.
Yeah.
This is huge because it essentially would, you could use almost small amounts to power entire cities.
Yeah.
Have you seen Showtime has a series? It's called The Man Who Fell to Earth.
Mm-mm.
It's really good if you get a chance to watch it. And it's about nuclear fusion. So it's about a guy that comes from another planet and essentially creates nuclear fusion here because they've already done it wherever he's from.
Okay.
But the interesting part about the show is that the powers that be on Earth, the countries, right, like the U.S., people are sort of fighting for control of this, because whoever has control of the energy, right, can dictate a lot of shit, right?
Yeah. Wow.
So I mean, really exciting that they were able to produce this successfully, but now once you're able to sort of mass produce this, then who owns it. So it's huge that the U.S. did it first.
Yeah, because we're not sort of controlled by a foreign government now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's huge that the U.S. did it first, but then you go, okay, so once that technology gets out, like, what does that mean? Are different countries sort of fighting over this? Are we not fighting over this? But, like greed rules humankind.
Dude, you might have just made the single best argument ever for paying attention in class. Like, like you were mentioning that show and how he was able to do this, and obviously this is like a big deal, and I know this is going to sound far-fetched, but I think in our kids' world and our grandkids' world, it's not. Learning how to make like a fire, you know how they teach you that, and you're just like, I'll never need to know that. But what happens in a world where you are put on Mars or you are put on another planet? You know what I mean? Like those types of things, like nuclear fusion. I feel like hearing you say that, I'm like, oh shit, these are the applications where one day, like your survival on another, or the advancement of a species somewhere could depend on something that that's very common here.
Yeah.
Dude, this is like huge because, like you said, this is self-sustaining, and you can essentially power an entire anything. Like you can duplicate this over and over, and you said very little powers an entire town, and essentially you don't have the need anymore for coal or for any oil or whatever.
You don't have any big power plants.
No. You just have these, and they're dangerous. Like the plants that sort of contain this, like nuclear plants, are extremely dangerous. I think but again, so is oil, so is coal, so is all that stuff is, and so you find a way to contain it and operate it safely. But it's life changing.
Yeah.
It's generational. Like you said, it doesn't make you, even for us. Like going back to your point about the fact that we discovered it, it also takes away our dependence on other nations for our resources and stuff that we use to power.
Right. Eventually, right?
Right.
And so if you could think about nuclear fusion is essentially what the sun uses to kind of power itself. And so this is what, and we talked about this before on here, where like, now I know we always mention Elon Musk on here, but he's a great example because he has explained like kind of what it would take to create an atmosphere on Mars. And it was based around nuclear fusion, where he's just like, well, essentially you have to be able to duplicate what happens on the sun. And it's just like now, the U.S. government, which is not, the government in general is not the most efficient means of anything. But they had the money and they had the means and they had the right people, and they were able to figure this thing out. Again, it's very much the beginning, but time will tell what this becomes.
And you said this will be impactful, man. It'll definitely it'll reduce the carbon footprint of certain things, and it'll
increase others.
Others, man, for sure. And yeah, man, I'm curious to see where this goes. Like you said, Elon is so nonchalant about like, you just have to create a mini like nuclear or whatever, like it's just
a mini sun.
Yeah, and the fact that we did it, I think, is huge. You're welcome, world, like everything else. America, baby.
All right, what you got?
Listen, man, I had to go with like mine is Lionel Messi. Hey, let's go. And dude, the GOAT, the greatest soccer player of all time, I think. And listen, I'm a little biased because I'm a Barcelona fan, and obviously Messi spent the bulk of his career there. But statistically, he's passed Ronaldo in most categories, and now he has the World Cup. And so I think it's pretty safe to say Ronaldo.
That's all he was missing, right?
That's it. Dude, this guy, he's on side quest now, bro. This guy's beat every main part of the story in this video game he's playing, and now he's just knocking out side quests. Like, he's beat Ronaldo head-to-head for a Champions League.
Okay. He's
beat Neymar for a Copa America. He's now beat Mbappe, who's going to be considered probably one of the greatest of all time, for a World Cup.
Yep.
And then I think he has 4 Champions League. He has like, I don't want to get it wrong, something ridiculous like 10 La Liga titles or something stupid, which is his his league. It's like 7.
Is that like his Super Bowl?
Yeah, the Champions League, or not? Sorry, not the La Liga is the Spanish league that he plays for. It's like, so he plays for the Spanish soccer, the biggest Spanish soccer. So and then what you have is like the English Premier League. That's where like Manchester United and Chelsea and all that is. And you have La Liga. That's where like Real Madrid and Barcelona and Atletico and all that stuff are. And then you have like the Italian Serie A, whatever, where they have like that's where like Ronaldo played for a little while too, for like Juventud. Anyway, those leagues are all like each country, like Bundesliga. Is
so
like
they don't all play each other?
They do. That's what the Champions League is, but it's the top teams from all those teams go to this thing called the Champions League. But then each one of those has a league in itself. So like Bundesliga is Germany, the English Premier League, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, so he's won the Spanish League, right, which is the one he plays in. He's won the Champions League 4 times, including head-to-head against Ronaldo. He's won the Copa America, which is the countries all in the Americas. For Argentina, he's beat Neymar head-to-head. They Argentina beat Brazil for that not that long ago. And now he's beat Mbappe, who for many is considered like he's got next, right? Like he's the guy.
Definitely got
Dude,
next,
this is like trying to explain this would be like a Jordan or a Kobe playing LeBron, like a prime LeBron and like Kobe beating him one last time on the way out, or Jordan beating him one last time on the way out. But on an even bigger stage,
with those guys not having previous championships.
Correct. Like this is just but Mbappe has one. He won the last World Cup.
No, I'm saying like if
if Jordan never won. Yeah. This is like Elway beating Brett Favre. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like I guess that would be a better thing when Elway beat Brett Favre for his first one.
That's actually really good.
Like now that you said that, like that would be the equivalent. Like young Brett Favre, Elway never won one. Like then he beats the young gun. Sort of.
No, instead Elway lost I don't know 2 to 4. I don't know what the hell he lost.
He won, and then he finally beat Favre won, and then he beat Atlanta. I don't even know who the quarterback was. Like Chandler. Yeah.
Yep.
And then so anyway, but you get Messi, who I guess for many, and I think it's inarguable at this point, the greatest soccer player of all time. Like statistically, as far as championships go, now he has a World Cup to. I think it was the only thing he was missing in the trophy case was the World Cup. In what I think is the greatest championship game of all time in any sport ever. Like. The stakes.
That says a lot, bro.
Dude, I was thinking about this, man, as I was watching it, and I'm like, the sense of urgency, the stakes. Like, from the 80th minute on, every second was, like, gut-wrenching, nerve-wracking. Like, every play mattered. And then Mbappe, like, we were talking before, Argentina dominated that game. And Mbappe rarely touched the ball. But even when Mbappe touched the ball, maybe like in the 20th minute, you were like, get it the fuck out of his hands. Because he's so good. And no matter where he is on the field, for whatever reason, you feel like he can score. Because he's so fast and he's so strong and he's so big. And you're just like, get it out of his hands. Get it out of his hands. Get it out of his hands. And then at the 80th minute, that's a good question.
He can't be that big.
Because he might not be that big, but soccer players are small. So he may just look huge.
He's big for them.
Yeah.
But while you look that up, so I did see that this one had over 3 billion people watching.
Half the world?
Almost. Which I believe the world now is at 8 billion. But they said 2018 was like the most.
They had 5'10".
Oh, wow.
Which is a giant in soccer, bro.
In 2018, there was 3.57 billion people watching. Worldwide? This one was over 3 billion. I don't believe it topped 2018.
Oh, I thought it did top it.
Did it? And what I read,
I think they're still working on it, but
it could be right. It could be still cutting up the numbers. What I found to be really interesting, man, was that first of all, in my house, all 3 of my sons, got up early to watch this game. My wife left the house, and it was 4 of us in there. We were all going for Argentina. We wanted to see Messi win one. And like you said, 80 minutes in, really total domination by Argentina. And then in a matter of a minute and 30-something seconds, they tie the game at 2. Goes into like soccer's version of overtime and then penalty kicks. And, dude, we were going nuts. We were loud. It was one of those sporting events that I watched that it was just like, I'm going to remember this forever.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Dude, it was just so like just nerve-wracking, like even the nervousness you felt for the players, like and again, having a French family and French friends, like they're gonna hate me for this, and I'm glad I didn't watch it with any of them because I was cheering so hard for Argentina, and mainly because I wanted to see Messi just get his
Right.
France won it the last time, Mbappe has his,
Yep.
and I don't think it's the last time. Dude, France has been in it the last 7 World Cups. France has been in 4 of the finals.
Oh wow.
So there's no coincidence. They have most of the black players that aren't an African team.
Are they from Miami?
If a team is not from Africa, I think French has the French have the most black players on a team that isn't from Morocco or but,
Dude, now when I'm watching it, I was like, oh, they're gonna win.
like, what makes you say that? They've got athletes. I don't be like, dude, they are. I don't think it'll be their last chance. Dude, they're missing 5 players who got hurt like the week leading up to the World Cup.
Really?
Who would all be starters in every other country. But not only that, like 2 of them are like all-time greats. Like Benzema, who just won the Ballon d'Or, is like... and Benzema's old. He's not a young dude, and he just won this award. Benzema played on Real Madrid with Ronaldo and stuff, so he was sort of overshadowed by... Benzema's a stud, and he was on... I think he got cut out of the last team that won the cup because of whatever, some sex tape and all this other shit. But anyway, but he was on the 2014.
They let him back in.
Yeah, dude. But he's like, he's a stud. And then Paul Pogba, who's a stud, didn't play because they were hurt or whatever. And then there's 3 other guys. I can't remember their names off the top of my head, but all just great players.
Yeah.
And you see, like, that's 5 guys who are missing from that French team who are like world class, just top of the. It's insane. So that team is not, and Mbappe is 23, so he's nowhere near done, man.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Yeah, he's got 2 good World Cups left in him. He's got barring any injuries or anything like that, but they'll be back, man. And so for me, greatest championship of all time in any sport. Like the goalie. Like, can we talk about that save that the goalie made in the last 20 seconds? He came out, and I'm yelling, no! And then I'm like, ah! And then bro, and immediately I thought of, oh, that's LeBron blocking Iguodala in the NBA Finals. Like, that's how. That's what that meant. But I would raise it even. It would be like Iguodala doing that at the buzzard. Like, it would even raise that even better. Like, because that was with in stoppage time. I think that happened, and it was
they would have won.
I think they ended the game like maybe 20 seconds after that. They blew the whistle. So it would be like Iguodala getting a fast break and LeBron blocking that at the buzzard. Literally would be what this would be. And so it was like the thing that I thought of when it happened. It was like, wow, man. Like, and then just the sense of urgency, just the nail biting, the like you're pacing and just jumping and just like it was just so cool. Dude, if it doesn't tell you, if Messi doesn't have like, and obviously we like to talk about things making an impact. Dude, Lionel Messi is now, obviously he's influenced soccer. You know, he's sold a countless amount of jerseys. Like, I don't know if you saw today the parade. They drew 4 million people in Buenos Aires.
I was going to say there was 4 million people over there, bro. That's crazy.
That's the city of New York shows up for a World Cup parade. He now has the most likes on social media ever for his posts of post World Cup, like, you know, with the trophy or whatever. Yeah. Like, this guy is obviously a transcend sports, and he's a global sort of phenom and all this stuff. But it was just nuts, man. I've never seen anything like it. The spectacle was just nuts. Him winning it was just nuts. The game, seeing 2 greats, like how often do 2 greats live up to the hype in a head-to-head matchup? You know, like I kept thinking of, like, I'm too old, man, but like if I think about what would have been like when Jordan played the Lakers in the finals, but what if Magic was still in his prime? And Magic was still good. Right. Or even if he was on his way out, but he was still good enough to get one. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that where I'm just like, man, that's what this was, man. This was just, man, again, like Kobe passing the torch to LeBron, or Elway beating Brett Favre, who was the next.
Dude, and I like that. I actually thought that. I was really rooting for. I'm not a soccer fan, but I was really rooting for Messi to get his. But I also saw this as like a torch passing to Mbappe.
Yeah.
this dude was phenomenal in the game. Basically single-handedly kept France in the game and almost won it for them.
Oh, absolutely, bro. If that kick goes in at the end of the goalie saves,
It's over.
It's over. And there was an opportunity that Mbappe had there towards the end too, where you just go, man, and like you said, single-handedly, you go, Mbappe won them that game. Like, it's just nuts, bro. And not, dude, and not so this doesn't get lost. They're also teammates on the team.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, Messi and Mbappe play for PSG. So
I had no idea.
Next week they're showing up to the same locker room together, which is great. Hey, bro, think about
Mbappe
this.
looked pissed at the end.
Oh, he should. I mean, I get it.
I do. I don't. You know what? And I was like, the one part of me was going, man, like, don't be a sore loser, right? Like, but you go to be great. Like, you almost have to be like.
You have to be pissy, bro. I think so. Here's like, this is one of those games where you go, it sucks that there had to be a loser because nobody really lost, somebody won.
Right.
Like that's how you want to look at these. But if you're the players and you're someone like Mbappe, this is the shit that like sits with you.
Yep.
I think you stew because I think it's different, man. In the NBA Finals and even like NFL playoffs, or if I think of the World Series, you get another crack at it next year. This is every 4 years.
Yeah.
And this is why I think like. Great, because it's like every 4 years, and then it ends on PKs. It ends with like every second drained off the clock. It ends with like every substitute you could possibly, like.
And he did everything, like even including his PK, right?
Yeah, and Mbappe
he makes that
everything,
and then the rest of his team doesn't.
Oh, if I'm him, I'm going into the locker room afterwards going, man, y'all lost. You fucking losers. Bro, you want to think about something? Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi are on the same team in France.
Oh, wow. They were all on PSG?
How nuts is that, bro? Yeah, they're all on PSG. Like, how crazy
That's got to be nuts.
Is that? I'm pretty sure Neymar's still there. Let me look that up. But, like, dude, how crazy is that they're all going next week to play on the same team and someone has to defend that shit?
Crazy,
like,
yeah. But, bro, you know what? Like, watching it with my sons was super memorable. And I know it'll be something that I kind of store in the back of my head of, like, what is it?
No, Neymar's still there, too. So, yeah, so it's Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe, yeah.
But I was saying that, watching it with my sons and us just being, like, the best things about sports is, like, you have the really big highs, you have the really big lows, and then everything in between, right? As we're watching this game and Argentina is, like, dominating, and then France comes back and ties the game, and then you're like, well, fuck, man, like, are they gonna lose this? So you get those different emotions. But I was like, it brought me back to, like, what are those moments in sports? Like, this is definitely one of them. Like, that was one that I'm gonna store back in my head and go, like, remember when?
Oh yeah.
But I was thinking like the things off the top of my head that came to me was like Miami Heat over the Spurs in that game,
the Ray Allen. Oh yeah,
right. It's one of those moments, and bro, that one it's just moments. But
it's that like, moment though for me.
Correct.
I don't remember anything else about that game.
Not even the whole fucking series.
Not even the series. I remember Ray Allen hitting that shot.
Right. I remember. Yeah. Well, I remember watching the game, and I was in the living room. My kids were really young. They were sleeping. My wife was sleeping in the room, and I was trying not to make noise. And when Ray and I remember going, oh shit, they're going to lose. Like, it's over. And then Ray Allen hits that shot. And I'm like trying not to scream.
Oh my god, bro!
Right, but it's like those sporting moments where you remember exactly where you were. Music City Miracle. Which I know you
me,
know.
Oh yeah,
bro,
yeah. I remember exactly where I was.
I remember not only remember where I was. Like I was. My wife and I went to Hilton Head.
Oh, South Carolina. Okay.
I was working for Disney at the time, I believe, and we used to get like a discount at the resorts. Disney has a resort over there, some like obscure resort that's pretty cool.
It's still there, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
We went there, man. She's sleeping like on my lap, and I'm watching this game, and I had to like wake her up, like, oh my god, you have to watch this, like the replay, because I'm watching this shit like unfold and just going like, oh my god, man. Another one for me was like going to see my first Bears game, like in Chicago.
Okay.
Dude, they played against the Vikings, and it was so let me just tell you, the quarterback for the Chicago Bears was Chad Hutchison. Who's that?
I can't even believe you remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was a year that they had like a whole like quarterback carousel going on. So we're there. They end up winning the game. They played the Vikings. It was the Dante Culpepper, Chris Carter, Randy Moss.
Oh, so the early 2000s.
Robert, what the hell? What the running back? Robert. Shit, I can't remember his name. But they had a squad.
I'm trying to blank. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That squad was stacked.
It was crazy.
And you said it was Cunningham or Culpepper?
Culpepper.
So early 2000s. So this is like
Yep,
05.
early 2000s.
Okay.
I don't remember. It wasn't 05, but I don't remember. It was definitely before I had kids, but it was definitely early 2000s.
Yeah.
You know, like Urlacher and Briggs and that defense.
Oh, so the Bears already had Urlacher by that time?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So they had a good defense, but the offense was horrible.
Yeah.
But
typical Bears team.
Yep. But ended up winning that game, and I was just like, man, like this is one of those things that I want to throw. Like this soccer game was one of those games I'm gonna throw back, and be able to relive that over and over, and with my sons. And we took video of us like celebrating and stuff, man. And it was phenomenal, man. It was an awesome sporting event.
Dude, it's so funny, man. When you're saying that, I was thinking about like what are mine, and so for me, definitely, obviously, Music City Miracle because I'm a Titans fan. And that same year, them coming up short the yard in the Super Bowl
reach?
Or whatever. Yeah, the reach from Dyson or Mason. Sorry. But then I have like, there's a bunch that stick with me. Charlie Hayes catching that foul ball to win the World Series in '96 for the Yankees.
Yep.
I cried. I think I was 10 years old. I cried when they 10 maybe had no. I was 10. I think I cried when they caught that.
Bro, let me get you up on that. So that for me, I was in the Marines. My boss, who was a gunnery sergeant, I think I was maybe like a lance corporal or something. My boss was from New York, but he was a Mets fan. He hated the Yankees, and he also spent a bunch of time in Atlanta, so he was a Braves fan as well.
And that's the Braves were up 2-0 in that.
That was when they go back to right. So like I had my boss, and then I had another dude that I worked with who were both. The other dude was from Georgia. Both Braves fans, and they're like, they're not leaving Atlanta, or right because it was like they go back to over there 2-0.
Yep.
They have 3 games in Atlanta,
and the first 2 weren't close, man. It just looked, that's that John Smoltz, Greg Maddux Atlanta team. Like it was just, there was.
It was one more.
Andrew
they had
Jones.
3 pitchers, didn't they?
They had 3 pitchers that were amazing, but then they had like Smoltz, Maddux were like all time, and then had Andrew Jones, and like that team was just. I think I had a young Andrew Jones at that time. Who was the third pitcher? It was somebody. Chipper Jones, I think, was on that team.
Yep.
It was just a stacked Atlanta team, man. So I remember that, man, because I remember thinking it's over. And this is around the time where I'm really getting into sports. And the Yankees were like, I love the Yankees. When I was a kid, man, I loved the Yankees. And I grew up, obviously, across the bay, like there, like so from New York. So it was like, I was obsessed with the Yankees at this point in time. So watching them win that was like, I'll always remember that, man. Like I literally cried. When the Yankees won the World Series in 2009, my daughter was born like a few weeks before.
Okay.
And I remember watching them win that and the flip to Teixeira to get the out at the because I'm holding my daughter and I'm like trying not to scream and I'm like, oh, like I remember that like middle of the night they beat the Phillies or like so I remember that. There's a few, man. I remember going, and we've spoken about this before. I remember going to my first race at Daytona, something I'll never forget. I always remember the thing we went to live, which was the Mayweather fight.
Like, I didn't think about that. That's right.
Like, that one always sticks with me just because probably what arguably one of Mayweather's closest fights ever.
Yep.
You know, we just happened to be at that. And then man, I'm trying to think of any other ones that like stick with me. There was a Monday Night Football game a few years back between the I think it was the Chargers and the Chiefs or no, Chiefs and Rams. That one I really like, and I can't even remember who it was, but that's one where I'm like, holy shit! It was Monday night. It was in Mexico. And they just put on a spectacle. Really? I remember like watching that going.
Oh, I do. Where it was just like scoring.
They each put up like 40 or 50
I remember that.
Something crazy. Yes. Like that's one of those. I remember just being up in the middle of the night going like, you know,
what it was like. What is going on?
What is going on? Yeah. Like you ever watch sports by yourself and you look around and you're like, holy fuck! I wish somebody was here because this is nuts. And then the other one, man,
I remember that.
It's funny. I there's 2 other fights that stick with me, and it was Mike Tyson beating Peter McNeely for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Really?
I think it was the amount of people we had. Like it was at a family thing, but also Ruiz knocking out Joshua. I remember watching that in the middle of the night here, like by myself, and I had it up, and I just happened to order the Zone or something that day. I think it was on, and I was like, oh, I'll watch it. And you're fully expecting Joshua to just beat the shit out of Ruiz. And I remember watching it, and everyone's asleep, and I'm like, holy fuck, like just one of those, like, what is going on? Like, that was one. But this was just, bro, to wake up on a Sunday morning to this, like before you get out of bed, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was just nuts, man. And Lionel Messi, man, just,
yeah, shout out to you, man.
Shout out to
that guy.
I don't know what
man.
else he has to check off.
Dude, he should just stop playing soccer forever.
He could, man. He's 34, and he said he's not done. He wants to keep playing for the national team. And I wonder if, obviously there's 4 years to the next World Cup, right? And so there's a lot of
you're not
events.
40 doing that, right?
No, I would think not. He'll be 38, 39. Do you go, depending on how Argentina looks, if you're him, if you're going, I don't got to do all the work, I'll just show up. Are you LeBron at 37 with the Lakers where you go, just put a squad around me, I'll show up for the playoffs or whatever? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know,
maybe
man.
that's him, but dude, that guy, I think, obviously Ronaldo, tremendous player, but Lionel Messi, I think now I have a World Cup over him. And if you're looking at greatest of all time, statistically, just Lionel Messi is just,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. I think it just solves that debate, man. The great dude, I don't know. As a sports fan, man, if you go back and look at this generation, and I wonder if maybe this is the recency bias of it all, but like I wonder if every generation feels this way. But I feel like, man, we got so lucky in some of these sports where we witnessed some of the greatest of all time play. Like, dude, and I know they're not popular sports, but if you think about tennis, we got to see Federer, Nadal, Djokovic all play at the same time. 3 arguably of the greatest players ever in tennis. Like, at the same time. And then you look at golf where we got to see like a Mickelson
and you got to see Serena on the women's side.
Serena and Venus and you
right.
said Sharapova. Like, you got to see all these players where you're just like the greatest at their sports at the time.
Yep.
And then in soccer, man, we got Ronaldo and Messi, but we also got this generation now with Mbappe and Neymar, and then what's his name? I'm sure I'll blank now, man. But like even Harry Kane, great player. Brazil has a new player up and coming who's just phenomenal. But, again, even just Ronaldo and Messi, like, you're looking at 2 of the greatest of all time. And so, and then you think about where we lived through MJ, we lived through LeBron, obviously not together, but even if you look at LeBron, Kobe, I'm like, man, we were so spoiled in this generation.
Kobe, I mean, even now with Curry, and then
Steph Curry, who's gonna go down. You got to put Steph Curry in the top 10 now, right? Yes. You have to top 5,
Absolutely,
top 10. You have to put Steph Curry there. And listen, this is coming full disclosure from someone who I don't want to say I was a hate on Steph Curry, but I definitely didn't think Steph Curry was dominant. Like as a single individual player. But
he absolutely is.
It's hard to argue now. Yeah, he's absolutely that. And I go, Steph Curry, more influential than LeBron to the game of basketball. Because LeBron is like, if you look at LeBron, you're not built like him. But Steph Curry, if you have a scrawny kid who's 5'8", 5'7", they can like aspire to be a Steph Curry. Like,
absolutely.
Hey, you can learn to shoot well. I can't learn to be 6'9", 250 pounds and just bulldoze dudes. And like obviously LeBron is just superior. Like his talent level is all time. Like you'll never see. Or I shouldn't say never, but it's going to be difficult to see someone like LeBron who could defend all 5 positions, play all 5 positions. But Steph Curry, I would argue, is more influential than LeBron ever was in basketball. And dominant, man. Like, it's hard to argue. Like, Steph Curry's now, he drops 30 a quarter. Like, he's done it several times. Like, that's just bananas, man. And so you have to throw him into the discussion of the top 5, 6 all time probably at this point.
And dude, and I love the young talent that's in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like the league, like once LeBron leaves, right? Like, you're not gonna be without superstars.
No.
You have guys like Giannis, you got John Morant, you got Luka, you got Jokic. Is it Jokic?
Yeah, Jokic, and then dude, you got Greek Freak. You got, dude. It's you already said Giannis. Sorry,
Giannis,
you said Giannis. Yeah. So you said Giannis,
but
Luka,
I mean, who's
John Morant?
Yeah, it's so like I love the way the league is, and I feel the same way about the NFL. Yeah, so I was looking at this really quick, man. So the if the playoffs started today in the NFL on the AFC, you get to see Josh Allen. You get to see Who's the
Patrick
guy from
Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. And then I'm drawing blanks, but the Ravens and the Chargers.
Oh, Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson,
You get
and
to
then
see
the hell's the other guy's name?
God, come Chargers. Fuck, why am I drawing a blank on
Yeah,
that?
I don't
But
know.
yeah, but he's awesome. Again, yeah, just
Let me pull it up. Hold on.
yeah, I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on the Chargers kid. Who I thought should have been the first pick.
Justin
of the draft.
Herbert.
Justin Herbert. There you go. I thought he should have been taken over Tua, but you also get a Dolphins team potentially that'll have a Tua, which I'd still take Justin Herbert over Tua. But
Oh, sorry. And the Dolphins are in too.
yeah,
So you get Tua,
yeah.
Herbert, right?
But I'm still not sold on Tua. But I would say
Still.
the rest of those guys. Yeah, you still get. You said the league is in good hands.
The
moving
league is in
forward.
good.
Yeah.
That's kind of my point,
Yeah.
right? Where you go
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you got guys like Tom Brady, who's already way past his prime, still playing at a high level, but the team is not doing so well. The guys like Aaron Rodgers, right? Like these guys are kind of sunsetting,
Yep.
and I'm just going like, wow, the league is in good hands. Same thing with the
God.
NBA. They
Yeah, because you
like-
just saw Breeze and you just saw Roethlisberger walk away. You
Yep.
just saw, like you said, the league is in good hands because now you see the Mahomes, Herberts, Allens, all the stuff of the world take over. Yeah, I love it, man. Burrow to me is gonna be an absolute stud.
if he stays healthy, bro.
yeah, if they can protect this poor
Yes.
kid, man, he is gonna be just like he's gonna be amazing. And you know, again, Jalen Hurts looks okay. Like the Eagles are going to be fun to watch.
Yep.
I do think the Eagles are that team. Like I don't know if you remember that Cam Newton Panthers team a few years back that lost the Super Bowl to the
Yes.
Broncos. This Eagles team reminds me of that. It's like they all got hot at a really good time. You got a cheap team because no one's owed big contracts yet. You got that. So I'm like, I feel like this Eagles team, like this is their window. Like
Yep.
they're not going to do this next year and moving forward because you're going to have to start paying people, which means you can't keep everybody.
Right.
But you just happen to luck out that there's a lot of people on rookie deals and all that stuff. But they're fun as shit to watch, man. And Jalen Hurts, listen, I didn't think Jalen Hurts was an NFL quarterback. I've seen Jalen Hurts now a couple times this year, and I go, nah, he's got it. Like, he'll be fine.
Absolutely,
Like, he won't be
bro.
this level, I don't think, but he's going to be good enough. So, like, I don't think he's going to be putting up stats like he did this year. Like, I just don't think that's sustainable. I think now you're going to give 7-8 months of people on the offseason to get tape and get the stuff. You're not going to be able to keep that team around you. Like, you can't keep Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Like, it's not going to happen, right? So, you're going to get another year of that and all that. But then you can't keep that defense together. You're not going to keep that O-line. Like, you're going to have to start paying people. Even
Right.
Jalen Hurts is not making a lot of money right now, right? So, unfortunately, the economics are going to catch up to you.
Yep.
But I think Jalen Hurts is an NFL quarterback, and I did not think that at all when he joined the league. But now I've seen
Dude.
him made enough throws where I'm like, nah, kid's got it.
Yeah.
Like, he's good.
And that dude has to have a chip on his shoulder.
Oh,
right?
absolutely, yeah.
Being and for those of you who, I mean, and I think a lot of at least the male folks that listen to this show, you've seen this guy in college. He was in Alabama. He was a starter. He gets benched for Tua. Tua comes back, wins the national championship, right? He transfers out to Oklahoma, does well, but doesn't win any championships or anything. Is not a high draft pick.
Nope.
Eagles pick him up, man, and this dude, like I said, he's got to have a chip on his shoulder. But even on the NFC side, so you got him, you got Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
The 49ers look amazing. I don't know.
Named Purdy,
with
who was the last
Purdy,
pick
yeah.
of the draft.
That defense looks scary, bro.
Oh, my God. Yeah, man. And then this kid Purdy, listen, I don't know what his future
Put
looks
up
like.
21.
But, yeah, that's all. Yeah, right. You get a team like this, it's like, dude, just hand the ball off and don't throw picks and put up 21. But I will say, this kid, I don't know what his future looks like, but I can't teach you to not be rattled. And
Yes,
he doesn't look
and he
rattled.
doesn't look rattled.
And he looks comfortable.
Yes.
And I can't teach you that, man. I can teach you to read defenses. I can teach you the timing, and you can practice that. I can't teach you to have that calm-ass demeanor. And even, dude, I was after his first start, when they interviewed him,
Yeah.
and he wasn't super high, I'm like, all right, this kid's going to be okay. Like, I can't teach you that. I can't teach you to have that composure that this kid had. And I'm like, all right, you're gonna be fine, man. Like you're not too high, you're not too low, you're not celebrating your win, you know, like you just won the Super Bowl. He had every right to after his first start, and you beat Tom Brady and you put up that, like, you blow him out. You don't just beat him, you blow out Tom Brady, and you do that. Like, bro, I'd have been sitting there crip walking, I'd have been wilding out. And this guy was like, he was so calm, so cool. Like, I can't teach you that. So that in itself told me, like, all right, kid, you're gonna be fine, because athletically, we know most of these guys can get there.
Yep.
But mentally, can you get past those hurdles? And that's the hardest hurdle, I think, for people to like turn, is like that mental aspect. And just watching him even interview and how he just seemed so even keel, and it didn't seem forced. It was just like his natural demeanor of just like, yep, no, we did. Yeah, I love my team. But yeah, like, I'm like, it's boring. It's not what you want to hear as a fan, but you go, it's what I want to hear from my quarterback if I am a fan. Yeah.
My leader.
Yep, exactly. It's what, the leader of my team should be composed at all times, no matter what. Yeah, so, but the league is in great hands, man.
Absolutely, man.
Justin Fields, don't leave your boy out, man. Justin Fields.
Yeah, no, he's looking
phenomenal.
great, but I can't give him too much credit because we only got 3 wins.
Listen,
but they're fun to watch, bro.
They're fun to watch, man. And I would say even with the teams that are quote unquote bad, Jameis Winston is a fun watch because he's gonna air it out and he's gonna do that. Like, he's gonna try. Like, Jameis Winston ain't sitting there and gonna hand off. He's gonna throw a lot of picks, but so did Brett Favre, and he's gonna do. Like, Jameis Winston's gonna be a fun watch. The Giants seem like they have their guy
I wonder. I want to see.
I wasn't convinced until this year. Like, this year, I'm like, okay, they look fine. I didn't think Daniel Jones was the answer, but who knows, man? Like, could be worse. So, yeah, like you said, man, the league is in such good hands. And I'm always worried about, like, obviously as a fan, when you watch, like, this handover. And I think this is the first time for me that I'm like, I did see a handover in the NBA, but I was too young, I think, to like appreciate that. Like, I saw the NBA hand over like Olajuwon and Jordan and Stockton and Malone and Gary Payton and Barkley and all these guys. God, but I was so young, amazing, right? Bro. Like, yeah, I mean, it's a top 50 of all time, right? Like, all these players, like. But I think I was too young to appreciate it, and so now I'm officially at the age where I've seen the generation start and finish. Yes. Like, I didn't see the start for those guys, right? I saw the finish, and so now I'm watching that, and so I think for me as a sports fan, the appreciation hits differently because I'm nervous. I'm going like, oh man, but it was so fun to watch this guy, and it was so fun to watch this guy. But like you said, I'm watching these young kids, and I'm going, oh man, this is gonna be, especially fun, in the NFL, it's so fun, man, and in the NBA, which I'm a. Like I to me, LeBron just made the league for the last few years, and the Warriors did and all that. But the new talent, man, I go, man, so be able to watch Giannis and Luka and John Morant and all that battle it out for the next few years.
Young.
Yeah, Trae Young. And whoever emerges, Jason Tatum. Like, just to see who emerges from this, like, pool now and sort of asserts their dominance. And then who's the draft pick from next year? Like, what does Zion stay healthy and just become a dominant? Like, NBA, to me, I go, okay, as much as I love LeBron, when he sets off, it's so interesting right now to see. Yeah, dude, it's so cool.
So good. All right, man. We went really long on that.
We went really long, man.
That's all right, man. Just to circle back, Messi, the carbon footprint was for Messi.
Yeah. In conclusion.
Yeah, right? In conclusion, Messi's the greatest
soccer player of all time. And would you say greatest male athlete of all time?
No.
I think that's a conversation up there now, too, that you got to put him with. Like,
because I go back to, like, I want to see, I would love to see soccer evolve to have, like, and I'm obviously biased here. I want to have Americans care about soccer.
Yeah,
because I want the kids. I want the 6'5" dude from Miami to play soccer and dominate.
Yeah, the best athletes in the world don't play soccer generally. Like, especially in America, and I'm sorry, that shit matters.
Yeah,
because we're the best probably at every other sport that's not soccer. Like, yeah, our best kids don't play. Our best athletes don't play. You can imagine like LeBron and like Steph Curry playing soccer.
Dude, I sent you that clip of that guy, right?
It's
where
nuts,
he basically puts there was a guy on Instagram, I forget his name, but he basically puts like our best athletes as
soccer players positions.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh, this person at this person at that, goalie, again, I don't know all the positions.
Yeah, like LeBron at goalie. It's like good luck. And you're just like, yeah, I can't argue with that. And you're just like, and obviously, these guys got to learn new sports and new positions. But again, our best athletes don't play soccer. Right. Like what was it like?
So I want to see that.
Yeah. Our elitist kids from like the suburban Colorado play soccer. Like, they don't have,
don't worry, Dion's gonna change all that.
Yeah, for real. And oddly enough, a lot of kids from Jersey play soccer, but from the burbs in Jersey, right? You're not even getting like Newark, You're getting like, you know, Alpine, and you're getting like the suburbs in New Jersey, where a lot of these kids from the national team end up from New Jersey. I think there's like 3 or 4 kids on the national team from New Jersey, but they're all from like the burbs in Jersey, right? You ain't getting no Jersey City kids in there, no Newark kids, no Patterson, New Jersey kids. You know, like
because they don't care.
They don't care. Yeah. It's it's a borderline elitist sport in America,
and it's weird, man, because it is like you just need a ball.
A ball. That's it. It's which is why the world plays it, right? Because it's the cheapest. Like it has the smallest barrier to entry of any other sport. It's like the least cost. So it's odd that we don't because even in our poor communities, right, we have basketball courts and football fields and all that stuff. So it's odd that soccer isn't big. But if America ever cared about soccer, we'd crush everybody. I'm convinced of that. But until then,
that remains to be seen. Man.
Shout out to Lionel Messi and just finally getting his World Cup, and what an awesome achievement. And his stats and his like accolades are too long to list, man. How many times he's won the Ballon d'Oro and it's insane. And again, the Champions League, I'm pretty sure it's like 4 times. The La Liga, it's either 7 or 10. He's got a bunch of Copa America. He's got 1. Now he's got the World Cup. Like it's the list is just obnoxious at this point in time of the achievements in soccer. There's nothing left, literally. So,
dude, did we just go 45 minutes on our carbon footprint?
Yeah, I think so, man.
Well,
we're living up to the
hence
hype.
the name of the show.
Yeah, exactly. We sure are, bro. Yo, you ever bullied as a kid?
Was I bullied? I'm trying to think.
Cause you know now, like these kids gotta worry about like cyberbullying. And
not for long, man. Cause I had an older sister.
Okay.
They used to like to scrap.
Same, bro. Same, bro. Same. But this little girl, man. I say little girl, but I don't know her age. But she found out that she was being bullied online for a few months.
Oh, okay.
And then
also, did they say like
just the people were talking shit to her, calling her ugly, doing all this shit online, like, and so Lakari, hold on, I'm trying to get her name for you. So this was in Mount Pleasant, which I believe is in New Jersey. So speaking of Jersey, she okay, that was one of the girls. But anyway, I don't have the girl's name. But so the girl finds out who her bully is, which is the big part here. Okay, I'm trying to say. And turns out the bully the whole time was her mom. Her mom was logging in anonymously and bullying her ass online. So her mom's 42-year-old.
Trying to fucking toughen her up.
Kendra Lakari, I guess so. Bullying the shit out of her daughter online. You know what, bro? Listen, I'm going to just call it right now. Yo, bullying pushes you to do some shit, though. Like, you know, like, you won't go out on that mission to lose weight if people don't call you fat. You know what I'm saying? Bro, Latino, that's why you have no Latinos who like complain about bullying. Yo, our whole family, your nickname is based around like the most insecure thing in your life.
Oh, that's true.
Dude, Latinos will call you Gordo or Flaco or whatever the fuck. Yeah. So by the time you get to school, somebody's like, you a fat ass. You're like, yeah, bro, they've been calling me that since I was 2. Next. You're like that's why we're not that sensitive. Like when it's like, oh, you crooked teeth, you're like, yeah. My family's been calling me like diente de mierda forever. Like the fuck I care. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we bully, we build in like into our character. Like we automatically just go with that shit. And I feel like the world could benefit from a little more bullying, bro. Nothing motivates you more than a little bit of peer pressure. Going like, yo, your fashion sucks, right? And you might read a couple magazines. I'm just saying. So
when I was a kid, there was this girl around the block that used to have something was wrong with her foot or something, and they used to call her, and I'm probably gonna fuck up the translation here, but it was Maria con la pata podrida.
No, that's exactly what they call. For those that don't know, that means Maria with the rotten leg. On the rotten foot, but it rhymes in Spanish. Oh, shit. That's so funny, bro. But I bet you she was trying to straighten her foot out. Bro, that shit works, bro. That shit works, man. Like, somebody told you something and you go like, man, maybe I do need to make some different lifestyle choices.
Did I remember one time, man, I had my cousin. He was about 2 years younger than me, and he was not like a tough kid at all, and he was bullying some kid, some little fat kid, and I came outside and he goes, Sean, come over here. I'm gonna show you. Let me show you this. Like I'm punking so and so, right? Okay. Whoever it is. And I don't remember the guy's name. Even then, I was like, who is this kid? So I go over and I see the kid who he's trying to punk, or has been punking. But he goes over and he's like, watch this. And he goes, he's like threatening the kid, like he's gonna beat him up, and he's doing the whole jerk shit, like I'm gonna punch you, right? Fat kid just knuckles him up.
He done had enough that
He had enough, bro. And I was like, thinking back now, I go, that hopefully for that kid, that was, because it was funny, was after he knuckled him up real quick, he looks up at me because I'm older than them. Oof. And he goes, Sean, I told him to leave me alone.
Yeah, like he making sure you're not about to jump in.
And I'm like, and I felt bad for the kid. And I was like, you good, bro.
Yeah, you
took my cousin away and washed him up.
Dude, I had a similar scenario.
Yeah.
And I was on the bad end of this shit, man. My uncle, man, who I'm really, we talked about this before. My uncles were like dads to me growing up, right? This shit. My uncle once picks me up. He had a kid that lived upstairs from him in Jersey. And his neighbors were like my age. Anyway, he picks me up one day like, yo, let's play football. Like in a park, I got those kids. They got a bunch of their friends, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he knew, like, I was always down to, like, do stuff. So he takes us to the park, and we all play, like, a flag football game kind of thing, or two-hand touch. And a couple of us there. Anyway, one of the kids, like this fat kid, clearly way bigger than me, man. And he does something, bro. It's not even that big of a deal. I can't even remember what it was, but I'm thinking like I'm about to be tough and I'm about to fuck this kid up because he got like whatever. He got like rough during the game or whatever, blah, 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 blah. So I punched this kid and I'm proud as shit, right? Like I punched this kid and I hit him again. The kid starts crying and I'm talking shit, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm thinking, my uncle's about to be dumb proud. Like I just punched this kid. Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I look over at my uncle and he's livid, bro. Livid.
Really?
Oh my God, livid, bro. And I've never felt so shitty in my life because I admired my uncle so much and I wanted him to be like, I'm thinking I'm gonna get high-fived and shit.
Right.
And carried out, like, and my uncle.
Like a fucking Super Bowl
winning bro.
Coach.
Yep. I couldn't imagine it any other way. And I hit this kid, whatever, shit goes down. My uncle, he stops the game. We pack it up. He drives. It's an awkward drive back to the house. Whatever, we drop. The kids live, and this is like a, one of those like multi-family houses that maybe it's like 3 or 4 families that live in the same house. These kids go upstairs. They go to the house, like whatever. He's mad, and my uncle just lets me have it, bro. Basically, like and I'm shocked because I'm thinking he's gonna be proud of me.
Right.
I admire my uncle so much, man, and he just reams me and basically kind of like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, and you shouldn't prey on people that are weaker than you, and blah, blah, blah.
That's
even
dope,
though that kid was bigger, bro, just rips me, man. And to this day, that shit eats me, man. And he's like, and I think one of the things that he was like, this kid was way bigger than me, man. Again, he was a fat kid, he was other stuff, and he was basically like, I think one of the things that he drilled into me was like, just because you could and you knew you could and all that stuff doesn't mean you should. Like, you took advantage of the situation. It doesn't make you tough. You're a punk for doing that. Like, bro. Shit. And then kind of like, I
flipped the whole shit on you.
The whole thing, bro. He made me think completely different. And then it's like, and again, I'm not thinking about this. I'm not an adult. I picked these kids up to take them for a good time. I got to go tell their mom now that my fucking nephew punched them in the face and blah, blah, blah. Like the disrespect that you're... Dude, just lets me have it. I've never felt shit till this day. That shit comes up, bro.
You still apologizing.
And I'm still apologizing to him, bro. I still feel like shit. But it gave me like this. It was humbling, bro, because I'm like, at the time, for me, coming from a space where I was bullied a lot and beat up. And then I think, in my mind, building up the courage to like, oh, do this, I'm going to hit this guy, was just like, yeah, but are you really? Like, yeah, he was bigger than you and yada, yada, but you knew you could beat him up. So, like, fuck, you're just a punk. Like, you just took advantage. Like, he just fucking ripped me, bro. And I never recovered from that shit, bro. So, bullying, does good, bro. There's a lesson to be learned on either side.
Yo, for real, man.
So I admire this mom for bullying her daughter for months. Yeah, but the mom is like being charged now, I think, bro, for something crazy. Yeah, dude, they arrested the mom for catfishing because she did it to two teens. Just one of them just happened to be her daughter, but the other one was another random teen. I think one of the daughter's friends or some shit like that. It's a wild story, man. And her mom happens to coach the basketball team at the school, and I think her daughter was on too.
Shit.
Oh, bro, it's so funny. It's so wild, man. I'm like, can you imagine that shit, dude?
Dude, well, let me hit you up on this, man. You know the whole metaverse shit,
Yeah.
right? So for those of you who don't know, metaverse is basically like a virtual reality world, led by Meta, which is Facebook.
Facebook, yep. So
there's a country in the Pacific Ocean, and it's the nation of Tuvalu.
I don't know what that is.
Tuvalu. It's actually a small island.
Okay.
So because of global warming, essentially, and the melting of glaciers, the ocean levels are rising,
Okay.
which means that there's going to be less land. And this country already knows that if things continue the way they are, the island will be underwater
Oh, shit.
at some point. So what they've done is they've replicated how the island looks now in the metaverse. Okay? And I think the idea of it is that they're going to allow like this thing to fully function as a sovereign nation in the metaverse.
What?
That's the idea.
Okay.
Because they're like, we're trying to preserve not only the way that our country looks, but also our culture and everything else. And we want to continue to operate as a sovereign nation, even if we're underwater.
Okay.
Now, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, it would be a first of its kind, right?
Right. It'd be first of its kind. And like, you have to live somewhere. Like,
Yeah,
where are you living? And then being able to operate as a sovereign nation. And then what does this open up?
I know,
Right?
man. You seen Black Panther?
I have the new one.
The new one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live on the water. It'd be those people, the Mexicans.
Dude, but I was looking at that and going like, I don't know how you would operate as a sovereign nation if you have to live elsewhere.
We taking this work from home shit way too far, bro.
Yo, for real.
We citizens from home now, no matter where
Right?
you are.
No matter where you are.
Yeah, that's interesting, man. Because like even for Florida, they say the same thing's gonna happen. I think in our lifetime, like half of Florida
that right?
is supposed to be underwater. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who to believe anymore,
yeah, right.
but like, yeah, they've been saying that. Actually, one of my theses in college was like, it was aerial shots from Google Earth of what Cocoa. Do you know the bridge going from Merritt Island, like Cocoa Beach?
Yep.
Like the bridge is underwater. That's how
Oh,
high
shit.
the water level is supposed to rise. But I think it was like at that time, it was within 20 years, which we're close. We're like less than a decade away from that whenever
Okay.
I wrote that paper. But anyway. Yeah, dude, that's like uncharted territory because like now it goes like, what is a nation? Do you have to rewrite the whole idea? Like,
Correct.
Is it a group of people? Is it a piece of land? Is it like,
Right.
yeah.
And if you live, like, let's say if you're part of this country, if you live in the U.S., but you're trying to operate under the laws of another country, I mean, I don't know.
It's not gonna fly. It's not gonna fly in the old world, right? Like, I don't know.
Right. So then what does a new world look like? Who knows?
Dude, because you fast forward 100 years and you go, it's everything like that, and you just identify as, whatever.
So does that mean if you're with a vape pipe in Russia, but you're a U.S. citizen, you don't have to follow those rules?
You don't have to follow those rules, bro, because you identify
Right.
as a U.S. citizen. You just happen to be sitting in Russia.
Right.
I don't know. It's
That's
gonna be
fucking nuts,
fascinating,
man.
bro.
It is.
And then do you separate online behavior from in-person behavior, like in public spaces, versus
right.
like your home is your home sovereign land? I don't know. Like, it's weird. This shit sounds too crazy. I haven't had enough weed for that. That shit's crazy, bro. You know what's another trend right now though? With people identifying this shit. Have you seen this whole thing with the disabled?
No.
So people are calling it transabled. And they're
Hold on. Transabled?
Transabled.
Does that mean that you are like you're like not disabled, but
You identify
as disabled?
and then you start acting as such, bro.
Get the
So
fuck
some
outta here,
people
bro.
are like putting themselves in wheelchairs. Some people are getting surgeries. Some people are self-amputating or getting illegal surgeries in other countries due to believing to the fact that they were born to be disabled, but they're not. And so,
very similar to like I was, I was born a man, but I believe I should have been a woman.
correct. And so some of them go, I can't afford to do the surgery, but I believe that I should have been born without legs or as a paraplegic, and they'll put themselves in wheelchairs and expect you.
Fuck, man. What's the point?
Dude, we have it so easy. I'm trying to tell you, man. Life is so
That's it
easy.
right there, bro.
We have to create conflict, bro. Like, I'm convinced that our life is so easy that we have to create conflict. Like, dude, you ever work somewhere and like someone like it's something that isn't a problem suddenly becomes a problem, but you realize is that, like, I don't know, let's say you have a shitty employee.
Yep.
But that person, you're like, man, but 3 months ago, they were really good. Like, I don't know what happened. But if you stop and think about it, 3 months ago, you had another person who was the shitty employee, and they're no longer there. And then what will happen is that it just like the scope on this employee just gets bigger, right? The magnification, this weed just sticks out more because the other weed's gone.
Right.
And so you just focus on what the next problem is or what the next weed is or what the next, like, I feel like that's what happens here, where people who have their life so good, or certain people just have it so good, like you don't have many complaints. Like you see this a lot with people who like don't have kids and aren't married, and like you ever talk to like the younger kids at work and they tell you like the shit that's wrong with like what their bad day look like, like somebody used the wrong highlighter on their file or whatever. Yeah, and you're like, what? Like, and you try not to compare sufferings, but you're like, I would trade my bad day with yours right now. Like, I would trade my bad day for your bad year right now. Like, like I think it's all a magnification of what your life is, right? Like, or like it's your reality. And so, like, I think it's too easy here.
We definitely do have it easy.
Yeah.
We definitely do have it easy. And like you said, you do. I think that when you have it easy, you just like, I don't want to say. I mean, you put it as create conflict. I think that you find shit that needs, or that quote unquote needs to be corrected.
Yeah, it's like, you know how this like if you meet someone, if you look for bad qualities, you're gonna find them, but if you look for good qualities, you're gonna find them. I just think that like when life is this comfortable, you get these. I think you get more of these scenarios where people are just creating this sort of like, you find what's wrong, quote unquote, or you have too much time to stew and think of like, I don't feel like I should have had legs. It's like, who the fuck thinks that? You know who doesn't think that, bro? Yeah, some kid in Somalia who wants a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or wants his legs back.
Yeah, who wants? Yeah. Lieutenant Dan doesn't think that.
But you ain't got no legs in it, man.
It's fucking nuts to
Dan
me,
just
bro.
want his sea legs.
It's crazy to me that you can have people to think this, but I go, yo, I get it, man. Like, I go, dude, it's no different than our kids. Like, like our kids are like, I wouldn't say spoiled, but they're sort of entitled to a different. They're definitely
entitled. They're a little spoiled.
And you ever hear your kids' complaints, and you like, hey, motherfucker, if I had your problems at your age, or even like now, like you just go like, how is that a problem to you? And you sort of gotta empathize, because you go, okay, it is. In the grand scheme of things, and if I put your life,
it's all perspective.
It
bro.
really is, right? Like if I put your life in this snow globe, I can see why that's the biggest thing in your life right now.
Right.
But in reality, like if you have perspective, you just go, bro, that shit's not really a problem. It's just that everything else is so good that the one quote unquote inconvenience is always sort of magnified.
Yep.
It's just crazy, man. And now to the point where we start finding conveniences to be inconvenience. like,
yo, it's so true,
it's crazy, man. But I was watching this shit. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, man. I went down this rabbit hole and I was just getting like significantly more pissed. And I was like, yeah, fuck these people.
All right, man. In the spirit, I know we getting about at the hour mark.
Yep.
In the spirit of Christmas.
Oof.
You hit me up with a story of a nativity scene arrest.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
Yo, I don't know if you heard about this. This was a few weeks back. Somebody was walking by a nativity scene. I'm gonna pull up his story right here. And he got a little inspired. I think he was in the holiday spirit. And
So this is like a nativity scene in front of someone's house?
Yeah. It's from
So like
someone's house.
Christmas decorations?
Yes.
Okay.
So someone had the nativity scene set up in front of their house. I want to find the full story here because I don't want to get it wrong. Because it's an important story. But I'm going to end up paraphrasing here because I can't find it. Yeah, I'm going to end up paraphrasing. So anyway.
If you read it, we'll go with you. We'll go with your version.
Yeah, you just gotta believe me when I tell you this is what happened. Here, let me do one more search here because I had it and now it's gone. Because it's a pretty wild story, man. And we did this whole. Okay, here it is. Bam. Okay, and actually, it's funny because I got two things. This is a Florida man as well. So this guy, he was arrested because he went by a nativity scene, but it wasn't just a nativity scene. He saw a dog in front of the nativity scene, and he felt the urge to have sex with said dog, and he damaged the nativity scene. And so he was arrested for damaging the church nativity scene. So it was one in front of a church that was set up.
This is here in Florida?
Yeah.
It had to be.
You know, Florida got the wildest people, bro. It's too fucking nice here. I'm trying to tell you, bro. The sun's always shining. It's never cold. It's too comfortable,
Hardly
bro.
rains. Like, even when it rains, it's not for long.
No, and even in the summer, it's like, okay, if that's your worst complaint, like, fine. Like, we got it too good here, bro.
So he
fucked a dog on a nativity scene. He fucked up the nativity scene. Like,
I'm actually pulling up the article here.
yeah.
Florida man busted for public sex with dog, wrecking church. He did that in a church.
Yeah.
It's a church nativity
It's a church
scene.
nativity scene, so I fucked that up. You know what's wild, bro, is that the headline there isn't even he fucked the dog. The headline is he fucked up the nativity scene. In Florida, they're like, yeah.
The sex with the dog is secondary.
The dog is secondary offense, bro. Like, yeah, that's the misdemeanor. What he really did wrong was he fucked up the nativity scene. Oh, man. But in Florida, so Florida man is at it again. There was another story where this guy, bro, his wife asked him to help make dinner. And for some people, that might seem like a reasonable request. To the Florida man, that is most definitely not. So he beat her with a Christmas tree. And he got arrested.
I just pulled up the guy's picture. For those of y'all on YouTube, people.
Bro, he looked like Santa in rehab. He looked like crackhead Chris Kringle, bro. Oh my God, bro.
What is it? Richard Atchison?
Yeah, dude.
Arrested and charged after allegedly throwing a Christmas tree at his wife.
I'm not saying that I condone
Lake County,
the violence.
Florida.
Lake County, that's right down the street, bro. All I'm saying is this man was probably working hard all day. Probably got home. You know, I don't know what you do in Lake County. You probably
Where is Lake County?
Lake County's like fuck, man. Where is that? Okeechobee over there?
I don't know.
No, that Okeechobee County is. Isn't that close to here? No, I'm thinking of Polk County.
Let's see.
What's Lake County?
Oh no, it's close to here.
Okay. What's a city
It's
in Lake
like
County?
Eustis, Leesburg,
Okay, so not much to
Mount
do.
Dora,
All right, so you're doing a shitty job in Lake County.
Claremont.
Claremont is, yeah, okay, so you're not, yeah, it's you're having a shitty day. You already live in Lake County. Okay, so he's probably like fucking plumbing, or he's driving a school bus, or whatever he's doing. Like he's probably tired. It's an honest day's work. He's exhausted. His wife gonna go and say, help me out, make dinner. And he's probably livid. I'm not saying you should. I'm saying I get it.
Did he get
I'm saying he
arrested?
should have done it. He did get arrested for beating her with a Christmas tree. I'm just saying she got off late. She called the cops afterwards.
Listen, he didn't hit you that hard if you called the cops
hard if you
afterwards.
call the cops. I'm just saying. I also want to know what she make for dinner. Did it get done? What are people making in Lake County?
Maybe he hit it with the tree because the dinner wasn't up to par.
This is also true. He's like, bro. He's like, bitch. I've been all day out in this lake. doing whatever we do on licks.
Listen,
And
whoever that guy, whoever's hiring that dude, you know, that dude's probably laying sod all day.
yo, he looked like a fed up Ethan Hawke. I don't even know how to describe this shit.
He does look kind of like
He looked like the guy playing old Ethan Hawke in a movie a few years from now. I don't even know, bro. He just looks over it. And the tree just happened to be there, bro. I think he'd have beat her with anything. Oh, man. I got one more Christmas story. You want to end it on?
Do it.
Bro, shorty in Texas was driving in the HOV lane. You know, that's like the carpool lane. You got to have multiple people in there. She had a Grinch inflatable in the passenger seat. And she got pulled over for that shit.
Yo, I wonder, listen, when you do that shit, man, you got to have tinted windows.
Yeah, bro, you can't fucking have the Grinch.
You can't put the fucking
This
Grinch
bitch
in
does
there.
not have tinted windows, bro. I can see right through. It is most definitely the Grinch.
I wonder if it's the cop that went up beside her and was like, "Oh no, you didn't."
No. I love they got a photo of the cop behind her on the highway, and you can see the Grinch sitting there like this, waving and shit. And it's a fully inflated Grinch. Like, it's so dumb.
Yeah, people do the dumbest shit
Yeah.
to get away with something like so insignificant. Like,
Bruh.
why is you have to be in the HOV lane?
I think we give people too much credit, bro. There's more stupidity than we realize. Like, I think most people are dumb, and I'm convinced that a lot of us aren't smart. We're just not as dumb. You know what I'm saying? Like, did you ever meet people and you go, "Did you just say that shit out loud?" Like,
Oh, yeah.
and that shit happens weekly,
All the time.
bro, all the time. And so I would say, like, I meet people like that all the time, and I used to be like, "Oh, maybe I'm a smart guy," and now I just go, "I'm just not as dumb."
Yep.
Like there's levels to this shit.
Yo, man, on that, tell them where they can find us.
If you're not already following us at the Carbon Football Podcast on IG, the Carbon Football Podcast on YouTube, at Carbon FP Pod on Twitter, TikTok, the Carbon Football Podcast, and then everywhere where you listen to your music or your podcast, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, GeoSavin, Amazon Music, all of it. We're on it. Make sure you guys follow us on there. Hit us up, leave a comment, rate it. Let us know your favorite drinks and all that, man. Yeah, appreciate the support, man. Appreciate the love.
Yo, and on that, as always, we appreciate you guys, but I want to leave you with one quote that I read today from Seneca, which is like he's like a
F1 driver?
No.
Oh.
Seneca. Yeah, he's a stoic.
Okay.
His stoic guy. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. So when I read that today, I was just like, actually, I read it yesterday, and I was like, man, that's so true, because a lot of shit that we think about, that we worry about, are not as serious as we imagine them to be in our minds. So take a step back, right? Like when we think shit is serious, it's not that serious. You know, if you get mad at work because something, you know, somebody did something that was incorrect, like, while it may set you back a little bit, like, it's not that serious. Most of the things that we suffer through is in our minds. And we make it a lot worse than it actually is. So the quote is, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Oof. So remember that, folks. Through this holiday season, shit is not that serious.
Yeah, it really isn't. Dude, I don't know why, but when you said that, I thought of a quote from Diddy in one of the intros to his albums. He said, "Fuck your
Fuck
dreams."
your dreams. I don't know why. Fuck your dreams. This
Fuck
is
your
reality.
dreams. This is reality. But that shit is so true, man. Like you said, you live in your own head sometimes. You can make the biggest thing out of the littlest thing.
Yep.
Or you could make, and in a negative way, but you could also make a big thing out of a little thing in a positive way, man.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
I love that, man.
All right, on that, we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Peace.
Peace.